Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Astral Chain. Today we're going to go into the exclusion zone located within Zone 9. The zone that we learned about that the twins were born in during the Redshift pandemic that got the entire zone quarantined. And I think before we head into Zone 9, there are a couple of side quests worth picking up along the way. This one, where we're going to search for a woman's lost money clip, I'm going to pick up solely for the purposes of better demonstrating a mechanic that we were introduced to with the Beast Legion last time, which is the scent tracking. Because that area was so linear, we didn't really get a good chance to see how it works. So this time we'll give the handkerchief to the dog, and in an area where there are a bunch of different locations where we could go, we're going to play hot and cold out in the city. Now already we have a pretty good idea that it's around this corner, and it's just kind of trial and error and letting the dog sniff it out and following his lead. Unfortunately, it is right around the corner, so it doesn't let us do all that much. It doesn't give us that much freedom. But it's still a better demonstration of that mechanic than I think the intro to it was. And for doing this, we actually get a pretty pathetic reward. But it might be enough to do something with. Brings us up to just over 3,000. I went back, restarted the file, cleaned all my legions off because that's so tedious that I can't justify doing that on camera. Aside from the time or two that I showed the mechanic off. But also, just turned in a bunch of orders, did my upgrading, spent all my money. Oh, this one, we have to do this side quest. This little girl dropped her ice cream. And there's a really good reason why we should at least attempt to get it back for her. And I think we actually have just enough money to do this as well. First, we're going to grab this chest. Because I forgot we actually do need a little bit of cash to buy the avalanche. We could get a large, we could get an extra large, or we could get the avalanche special for 3,000 monies. And it's a real spectacle. 10 scoops. It is a marvel of modern ice cream engineering. And we have to keep it balanced on the way back to that little girl. So we're doing this with the gyroscope in... Oh, shit. Oh my god, it's going poorly. Oh, well, we've lost 3 scoops. Waiting for the crosswalk. Because we can't jaywalk, or they will fine us, and we don't have any more money left. So we're just gonna have to play it real careful with our remaining 7 scoops of ice cream for this child. Which we have the option of eating, by the way. Okay, we can't stop to help red-shifted, infected civilians. They're gonna have to make do with their debilitating illness on their own. We just have to make our way upstairs. Carefully till... Oh, this guy! No! No! I swear to God, every time he swerves into you. And it doesn't matter which side you go up. He'll be running down and swerving. Well, we have 1 scoop left. I spent all our money. Oh, no. Oh, this poor child. Oh no, that's not what I meant to do! I got all that way, and then just ate it! The remaining scoop! Gonna have to buy her another... Oh, I don't have any money! What a conundrum. Oh shit, I thought I had enough for a large. I could go make some money. He doesn't want to buy any of my stuff. I have a... Oh no, that's gonna fine me too! I have a gunner drone that I could sell him. It's busted, but, you know, You could refurbish it. I have enough money if I recycle. But we're not gonna go and spend any more time on ice cream. The reward is not necessarily the reason you do that. You get something okay. Might as well grab this balloon out of the tree. Yeah, you get something, but it's not worthwhile. I think you get an... Oh, I want to say it's one of the ones you get an S+ on if you get the full 10 scoops to her. Either way, we get plenty of common material codes, and we are making our way towards Zone 9, which is our actual storyline destination. We just have to use our Sword Legion slash to break in. And now we are in a place where we as Neuron officers are not permitted to be. One of the first times we faced a restriction like that. Which means it's going to open up something new to us. And a lot of people have mixed feelings on what that new thing is.
Alright, one more time though. Are you sure? It's illegal to enter Zone 09 without the Union's permission. Even for Neuron. If you get caught, they'll charge you with insubordination for sure. Would you really risk all that for me?
Yeah, why not?
Thanks. I mean it. Okay, first things first. We'll have to do something about that outfit. Uppers aren't exactly huge fans of the government. Or the police. You can't walk around Zone 09 dressed like that. Luckily, I planned ahead. Try this on.
Holy shit, her outfit is way better than the male
Bingo.
lead characters.
Perfect fit. I'm starting to forget you're a cop already. That door back there is the only way into the exclusion zone. As you can see, we'll have to sneak past a few guards to get to it. And the door itself won't open without a security key card. The guard captain should have one on him that we can use. Of course, we can't just ask him to lend it to us. We'll have to take it from him somehow. Tying him up with your legion's our best option. That'll knock him out long enough for us to get through. Okay, nothing to it but to do it.
So all that to say, this is just a stealth sequence against the cops. Oop. And the fact that run and crouch are bound to the same button is a little scary here. Because you can't just click it in the middle of moving forward or you'll break into a run. You have to come to a complete stop and then hit it to crouch. Luckily, you still have free control over your Legion and you can bind them from pretty much max distance. Or if you close the distance a little bit, you get a prompt, a ZL prompt, where it's basically a stealth takedown from like medium range. And it'll just, the bind will happen automatically.
Iris startup.
And for this bit, there are like 6 or so cops plus the guard captain up at the front of the pack who we can deal with by himself once we get through all the others. But this is made pretty easy by the fact that you don't have to rely on the prompt to bind these dudes, so you can just angle it from around corners and it's no problem whatsoever. Remember, they can't see your Legion or the Astral Chain. They can hear certain things that your Legion does interacting with the environment and get a little bit alarmed and suspicious, but they can't do much else. So while we have nothing better to do in this sequence, I'm just going to point out that in the process of writing some of my notes, I just started writing Chimera over and over again. Until I started thinking about Chimera and Arc from Hunter x Hunter, and I do that on at least a fucking weekly basis. I just build up a bunch of effusive hype for that arc, And it's like a reservoir, and sometimes I just need to drain that reservoir by gushing about how good the Chimera Ant arc was. Could I make a video essay on it? Yeah. Will I? Probably. Probably, yeah. Eventually, but there's enough hype to go around. That tank is never gonna stay empty for very long. I keep thinking about whether or not I should rewatch Hunter x Hunter. Or whether or not I should just rewatch the Chimera Ant arc. But then there's the guilt of having so many games and movies and books and things on my backlog. The only thing that helps me fight off the monthly urge to just binge the best 60 episodes of that show is that guilt, really. Shit. Like, it's just the best 60 episodes of shonen anime ever created. It's not even completely fair to call Chimera Ants shonen, because you know what makes it so good? It blends genres and goes so far beyond the typical shonen conventions. Like, it's sci-fi shonen horror
Let's get through that door before anyone notices it's missing.
that gradually becomes an oppressive war drama. Like, that's the best bit of it, is the genre bending. And how straight it plays everything. Like, it goes deep, deep, deep into those genres in really unexpected ways. God, what a treat Chimera Ants was. So, you know, in DBZ or any other shonen, when the big bad shows up and everyone's, floored by their power level. It's a bunch of shots of characters with their mouths and eyes, like, wide open, gawking, half scared and half awestruck. And then there's just another fight. And the main cast are just like, yeah, cool, let's see who's stronger. Can Goku beat Boo or whatever? What about this Jiren fella? He seems really strong. Even the weak supporting cast is just kind of there watching the spectacle, but more like how you would watch like an MMA fight. And that ends up ringing really hollow, because this villain was supposed to be really scary and overpowered. Oh, and they could just wipe a continent out in an instant if they win, so like you would think the stakes would be a lot higher. Like, by the second major arc of DBZ, Frieza is already just literally blowing planets up with a single attack. And the villains only get, like, exponentially stronger from there. But the thing about the Chimera Ant arc is that the caliber of the threat is that high, except you feel the stakes here, because everybody is scared shitless. And I don't mean, like, side characters are stricken while the main character's trained to fight the big villain off. I mean, everybody is like wetting themselves 24/7, and everyone realizes that they cannot fight him.
You know the drill. Try not to get caught.
Like, they have to assassinate this dude, and they have to devise a precise and very careful plan, and they have to execute on that plan perfectly to pull this off. And even then, everyone is just like horrified being anywhere near this dude or thinking about having to confront him. They are like stress vomiting and losing their hair at the thought of getting close because of how extra this villain is. Imagine if Frieza was real, but there was no Goku, there was no Vegeta, there was no anyone else. It was just all normal human beings and then Frieza. That's kind of what all of the characters in Hunter x Hunter are to this villain that gets introduced. And they don't resolve the problem by training and becoming strong, or by really even beating him in combat. There's just too much of a gulf. Oh, they play it totally straight, and that's how it becomes a full-blown, stressful, oppressive, scary war drama. Oh, and that villain happens to be by far the most complex and interesting character in the show. There are like 36 important side characters with their own role in the plan all around the palace doing their things. The whole tone and style of the show changes. I haven't even touched the surface of why this arc is so good. Should probably be focused a little less on Chimera ants, since I got myself into a bad position with the guards and then couldn't get myself out of it unless I wanted to restart or fight my way through. Oh, I don't know if I can go up the ladder this way or if it's just because I'm in combat. I think it's because of the combat. No, wait, no, I don't think it allows you to climb from this side anyway. So that does mean that we have to get out of here while being chased. Woo! Ooh, ooh, ooh. Unfortunately, or rather fortunately, the only real consequence of having caused an alarm like this is that we won't get an S+ like we did for the previous stealth sequence. That doesn't really matter to me that much.
You really prefer the direct approach, don't you? It might not work out so well next time. Let's try to keep a low profile in Zone 09, okay?
We're gonna have to just keep dodging them or kill them. And I guess I'll let them live until we get out. Ooh, shit. Into Zone 9 proper, which is just right out here. Then I think they will stop chasing.
Those should be the last guards for us to worry about.
So yeah, the Chimera Ant arc is the best. It's one of the best things, period, in anime. It does come on the heels of the worst arc in Hunter x Hunter, but Hunter x Hunter is good in general. It just has that one bad arc right before the best part of it. So yeah, watch Hunter x Hunter, but especially look forward to the Chimera Ant arc. I had 20 years of hype building that up for me, and I was still floored. It still exceeded 2 decades worth of high expectations. Because the thing is, I went in with the expectation of just, okay, every single person I talk to who has seen this tells me that it's the best, that it's really good, and etc. But not necessarily how it's good, so it's still a little bit of a surprise. But it's just super impressive that I loved it that much. Even with the expectations built up so much, because that could have been a real, like, it could have been the Undertale effect, where Undertale is one of the best games I've ever played, but if I had played that after a decade, 5 years of hype, a year of hype, whatever, I feel like the expectations would have been such that I might not have gotten that much out of it, because I would have been busy comparing that with whatever image I had of it in my head. And I think a lot of people ended up getting kind of burned out on Undertale in that way, just from hearing so much about it and hearing all the praise that it got, that when they finally got hands on it, they were looking for it to be some revolution. And in looking for the ways that it was revolutionary, they just kind of got disappointed. Again, what shocks me about Chimera Ants is I had all that time to build up expectations and to be told how good it was and how above and beyond they went. And I still ended up loving it. Still loved it so much. Anyway, that about wraps up the Chimera Ants podcast. Sneakily disguised as an Astral Chain episode. We're going to learn quite a bit about the backstory of the game. Even though we've been getting exposition, we are going to learn more in a succinct manner once we can actually see the results of some of Neuron and Ark's machinations and Jenna's.
There should be plenty of people inside the camp. I bet we can find out exactly what we need to know. That's the camp entrance over there. Let's go in and ask around.
Plus, I think this mission gives us more perspective. Particularly perspective that is brand new to us. We have not seen an area quite like Zone 9 just yet. And that's going to open up a lot of things to us next time. I think for now, It's the latter. We're just going to approach the gate, see whether or not we can get in from the front. Unlikely, but always worth giving it a try. Just to rule the possibility out. And no, nobody can get through the gate without the hermits say so. So now, with that, we'll see if the Exiled Man has a side quest for us that's going to reveal more about how we can get around. Out to dry, he needs to get back in after being locked out so that he can pick up his clothes he left to dry. We'll deal with that next time and get into further into Zone 9. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one, y'all.